on Tuesday the 13th of November. Good morning and welcome to the PrimeCat Daily. So sterling versus euro is at 114.80, which is nice. Against the US dollar though, the pound is at 128.90, give or take. Now, the US dollar sterling relationship is indicative of investor and institutional risk aversion and pessimism with regards to a deal. The value of the pound, the stronger pound against the euro, although let's be honest, 114 is pretty dire, but the stronger pound against the euro is indicative of fundamental information, concerning fundamental information coming from the other side of the channel. We come to you today after employment figures have been, and earnings figures have been released for the UK. Slightly up on forecast, fractionally so, but we expected as much. So coupled with the 0.6% GDP, so the fastest pace of growth for the UK's gross domestic product since 2016, these are essentially priced in. The story now is whether or not a deal will be done. And again, what tends to sort of take a back seat in discussions over whether or not a deal is forthcoming imminently is the role that Mrs May is going to play in getting us across the line, because there have been murmurings suggesting that the 48 signatures from her own MPs that are required to be submitted, or letters that are required to be submitted to the 1922 committee, that committee that elects the leader of the Conservative Party, has reached critical mass. So, interestingly, we're wondering whether or not a failure to achieve a deal in the very, very near term may result in a leadership challenge for Mrs May. It seems that the only person publicly and vocally in favour of Mrs May's plan is Mrs May. Why is it that the government is remaining quiet on the really positive elements of what she has put forward? Is it because the print media and the mainstream media like the sort of tussle, the Punch and Judy that comes with left and right, Keir Starmer and Jeremy Corbyn both saying that Brexit can't be stopped, but indeed it can, yada, yada, yada. We will be talking to our clients about this limbo. So frankly, were I having a conversation with Mr. and Mrs. Snooks, who are buying a property in France, I would say to them, sterling in a relative sense is up in the near term. So in a very sort of short space of time, you've got sterling at 114 rather than at 110. But if I have a client who has earned a certain number of euros and they're looking to exchange them into sterling, I might very well say to them, in a broad sense, and over the longer term, sterling is at a fantastically weak level. So if you consider that an average rate for the last 5 years may be at 120 to the pound, selling your euros at 115 is a fabulously compelling level. Now, the pound will shoot in either direction, depending on the outcome of deal negotiations. So if we find that by the end of the week there is a deal on the table, sterling will indeed rally. I cannot see it doing otherwise. Enthusiasm and confidence in the value of the pound will wane somewhat if this is prolonged. So please feel free to give us a call or post any questions down below, and we look forward to speaking with you, talking at you, whatever you want to call it, tomorrow.